Hello everybody, Joey the Truth Wagner with you. Welcome in. And everybody, this is the NHL.com 2020 NHL Bracket Challenge. And everyone, here on this video, you'll get my complete, honest, and unbiased opinion in this bracket. And the reason why I say unbiased is because the Penguins have sadly been eliminated from the playoffs. They were kicked out by Montreal. So now everybody, let's get into the fun. I'll start over in the Western Conference. Vegas and Chicago. That has the lookings of a very interesting series. The Blackhawks can go up and down the rink with Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat and Taves and Kubalik. Offense is really good. Defense, Everybody, Vegas to me seems like the most complete team. One of the more complete teams in this playoff. And I think Vegas beats Chicago. Next up, Avalanche and the Coyotes. Everyone, this series will go longer than you think. And that's because Arizona's defense is superb. And they have Darcy Kemper, who's been playing like a rock all year long in net. They also have Taylor Hall. Arizona is interesting. They have Taylor Hall and Connor Garland. Interesting. But the high-end skill talent that Arizona has doesn't even compare to the Avalanche. Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen, Kadri, Donskoy, Cale Makar on the back end. Avalanche are the better team, and they'll win. Next up, Stars and the Flames. This one is interesting, folks, because Dallas did not play very well in the qualifying round, and Calgary seemed to get their footing underneath them when they played Winnipeg and beat them in 4. It looks like Calgary got their goaltending situation figured out with Cam Talbot. And everybody, Dallas's defense is really good. So is their goaltending. But the question is, will they be able to score enough? That's been their biggest issue the last couple of years. And I don't think Dallas will be able to score enough. So I'll pick the upset here with the Calgary Flames. Next up, Blues and the Canucks. Vancouver is a young, fun team. The Blues are the defending champs with the experience. The Blues are healthy. Tarasenko's back. They got Binnington. They got Pietrangelo, Justin Falk on the back end. The Blues are really, really solid. They struggled mightily in the round robin, but they're too proud to bow out in round 1 as the defending Cup champ. They're too proud. I think St. Louis gets it done in a long series over Vancouver. Now let's go over to the East. Philadelphia, Montreal. I have to pick one of these two to win a series? I have to pick one of these two teams? Really? I have to pick between those dirty, dreaded, annoying Flyers or the Canadiens who just beat my team and knocked us out of the playoffs? I really got to pick one of these teams? Okay, I guess I have to. Everyone, Philadelphia blew me away in the qualifying round. I never thought they'd come out as the 1 seed. I never thought they'd beat Tampa, Washington, and Boston. I never thought that would happen. They're going on all cylinders right now. Carter Hart's playing well. Carey Price will steal a couple of games for Montreal. He'll steal a game or two, but not the whole series. Philadelphia wins. Next up, Tampa Bay and Columbus. How about some deja vu rematch revenge, baby? Last year, Tampa Bay, President's Trophy winning year. They face the bottom seed, Columbus. Blue Jackets sweep them. You think Tampa Bay didn't forget? Tampa Bay still knows. Tampa Bay didn't forget. Not one bit. Tampa Bay will get revenge and they'll beat Columbus. Next up, Washington and the Islanders. A very interesting series here, folks. Especially because with Washington, I'm not buying what they have in goal. They're trying to celebrate in Holtby, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. He's been mediocre and average for a year now. Ovechkin is still great. Backstrom is still really good. The offensive talent for Washington is very, very good. But if there's a man who can shut down Washington's stars, it's their old coach, Barry Trotz, who can do that. And everybody, the Islanders for the last 2 years, they've been like a leech. They just stick around. They never go away. Last year, I called them a fraud, and they swept the Penguins. This year, I still thought they were a fraud, and they beat more talented Florida. I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson this time. The leechy Islanders who play stingy defense and good goaltending will complete the upset. Barry Trotz beats the mentor Todd Reirden. The Islanders move on. Next up, Boston, Carolina. This is a really interesting series, everybody. Because Carolina, except for goalie, I love their roster. I love their roster. If they had better goaltending than Peter Mrazek and James Reimer, I'd probably have them go into the conference final. I love their team. They possess the puck. They own it. They get chances. They're good. They're well coached. I'm just not buying the goalies. Boston, they were the top team during the regular season, had a prolonged amount of success, and they have that can't stop Bergeron, Marchand, Pasternak line. This series could go either way. But there's a big part of Boston, the most important part of Boston that I like more than Carolina, and that's goalie. Boston has two good ones, Rask and Halak. I think Tuukka Rask steals the series. Boston wins. Here's round two, everybody. Round two. Vegas and Calgary. It'll be a fun series between these rivals. But everybody, Vegas just looks like such a complete deep team. Robin Leonard in goal, playing even better than Marc-Andre Fleury. Vegas is going places this year. Vegas will beat Calgary in probably 6 games and make it to the Western Conference Final. Next up, Colorado and the Blues. Big brother against little brother. Everybody, I remember a couple years ago, Colorado and St. Louis played. They played each other. Last game of the season, game 82. Winner made the playoffs, loser did not. Avalanche won that game. And everyone, I think St. Louis is really, really good. I really do. I think the Blues are really good. There's just something about the Avalanche. They have all the pieces to me. Grubauer and Francouz are good in goal. Nathan McKinnon's a superstar. They have secondary scoring and good depth players with Donskoy and Belmar. Ian Cole is one of their defensemen. You know what I think about Ian Cole. Penguins should have never gotten rid of him. I'll go with Colorado. I'll go with Colorado, everybody, and it'll be my dream Western Conference Final matchup. Everybody, Vegas and Colorado would be a classic Western Conference Final. That would be classic, and I pray it happens that way. Okay, over in the East, second round, Flyers and the Islanders. Again, I gotta pick one of these two teams. Why? Islanders, great on defense. Philadelphia seems more complete. Everybody, you can fraud your way through a round of the playoffs. To fraud your way through 2 rounds of the playoffs is very hard. The Flyers are playing really well right now. I'll go with Philadelphia over the Islanders. And look at this series. Tampa and Boston. Holy smokes, what a series. What a series, everybody. What a series. What a series. 2 great teams. 2 heavyweights going at it. And everybody, this is a really tough call. Really is. Really is. Tampa Bay's roster, I loved their roster for years. And I think Tampa Bay is slightly more complete than Boston. I think Boston relies a little too much on that Bergeron line. And because of that, Tampa Bay's depth will get them to the conference final. Okay, conference finals time in the West, Vegas and Colorado. In the East, Philly and Tampa. We'll start with the West, Vegas and Colorado. And I'll say this, everybody, before I start with these 4 teams. Holy crap, are they good. Holy crap, are they good. Let's start with the West, Vegas and Colorado. Both of these teams are so good. I'm splitting hairs here, folks. I'm splitting hairs. I could go with either one. I could go with either team, and I'd understand my rationale. And everyone, I'll say this, and I've said it before, the Colorado Avalanche remind me of the 2008 Pittsburgh Penguins. Really young, really talented, really good in their first deep playoff run. I think this is the Avalanche. This is their first deep playoff run. Whether they win the cup or not, I'm not sure. And they definitely have as good of a chance as anybody. But I'll pick them to win and go to the Stanley Cup final. Over in the East, Philly and Tampa. Tampa Bay's been knocking on the doors for years. Tampa has been knocking on the door to years. They made a cup final and lost. They went to the Eastern Conference final multiple times. They keep falling short. They went all in at the deadline this year. Got Blake Coleman and Barclay Goodrow. Gave up both of their first-round picks. They're going all in. And everybody, Carter Hart is going to be a star in goal for the Flyers. He's going to be a star. But one thing he doesn't have yet is postseason experience, which is what Andrei Vasilevskiy has. Vasilevskiy will lead Tampa Bay back to the final for the first time in 5 years. Stanley Cup final, Colorado, Tampa Bay. If you like speed, check. Skill, check. Fun to watch, check. You're going to love this Stanley Cup final. Avalanche and the Lightning. This is going to be so fun to watch. These 2 teams are similar. They are smart. They are well coached. And this is such a tough choice here for me, everybody. Such a tough choice. Both teams I really enjoy watching. Both teams I admire watching. But everyone, I think the experience of Tampa Bay, it's their year. It's the year of Tampa to break through and win the cup. My Stanley Cup champion, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the total goals scored in the cup final. I think both teams are really good, so I think it's going 7 games. I think it's going 7 games. I think there's going to be a lot of goals scored. If each of them scored 3 every game, that would be 42. There'll probably be a game in there that'll be a little on the low scoring side. I'll go 38 goals in the Stanley Cup final. And now the bonus round, the first round matchups. Okay, let's see here. For Vegas, I think they beat the Hawks. I'll come back to that one. Colorado, I think they beat the Coyotes in 5. That one's really not competitive. Calgary, I think they beat the Stars in 6. The Blues, I think they beat Vancouver in 7. I think Philly gets by Montreal in 6. Like I said before, I think Carey Price steals a couple of games. I think Tampa Bay gets by Columbus in 6. I think the Islanders get by Washington in 7. I think Boston will get through Carolina in 6. And Vegas, it's either 5 or 6 here, folks. It's either 5 or 6. With how they're rolling, I'll go 6. When in doubt in hockey, when in doubt, go 6. And there it is, everybody. That is my completed NHL bracket challenge, friends. If you haven't yet, give the video a like. Please like the video. And if you haven't yet, sub to the channel, friends, as we are getting oh so close to 7K on the sub count. And everybody, make sure you are here tomorrow as the NHL Draft Lottery will get underway at 6 p.m. tomorrow. I'll be live for it, so I hope to see all of you then. And from the Truth Serum, Joey the Truth Wagner signing off. Have a great night.